Hello and welcome back to a new video. Today I am showing you what you should not do to your art. So when I was younger, I'm just arguing with a display folder here. When I was younger, I thought it'd be a good idea to take all my scrap bits of paper with all my drawings on them and double-sided sticky tape them into it was designed for a scrapbook. But as you can see, a lot of the tape either didn't work or went yellow or both. I highly recommend you never double-sided sticky tape your art anywhere. So this has just taken me an hour and a half to take everything out of this book. I tried by just taking the images off the page. That didn't work, so I went in with the heat gun to try and loosen up some of the sticky tape underneath. That seemed to work. In a little while you'll spot that to get the remaining sticky off, I grabbed some talcum powder and used that to help de-stick the sticky. But yeah, I really don't recommend ever doing anything like this. I'm so gutted. It's been sat on my shelf in my Kallax for God knows how long now, and I went through it the other day and I could have dropped to my knees and cried when I saw the state of some of these images. And not just that, but some of the ones that I've got, like these ones, they're on tracing paper because I love drawing on tracing paper. I don't know why, I think it's just the texture of the paper, but a lot of them had discoloured and they'd gone like weird pinks and yellows, and they look wrong. Here we are with the talcum powder. I I just sat there and stared at it and didn't know what to do, and decided that the next time I nipped into King's Lynn that I'd grab a display folder and I'd take all the images out and I would not glue them, just put them in the display folder. But after going and taking them all off and seeing the absolute state of some of these images, by the way, some of these images I started drawing when I was either pre-teens or just early teens. I want to say like 12 to 16, most of these images are, that I drew. And you'll see at the end, I divide them. I put a big stack to my left that is all the images I drew in before I was 16. And then there's a handful of images that I drew in my 20s. But honestly, I haven't done any drawing in so long. But, yeah, I think I'm just going to have to go back and try and see. Oh, this is a big try and see. If I can replicate some of these images and then either stick the originals in a shoebox and stick it in the loft. I don't really know what to do with them. I'm so heartbroken the fact that some of these images are just not worth saving anymore because of the tape stripes that have gone straight through them. If I do finally figure out what I'm going to do with it, then I will definitely do a video and show you and let you know what I ended up doing. But honestly, after seeing the state of some of these images, after I've taken them out, that's good English. After I've taken them out of the book, I just don't know what to do with them. Like I said, I was going to put them in the display folder. Some of the images are too big to go in the display folder. I don't know what to do. But on a happier note, at least I managed to save them from being stuck in this book. I think the thought that just went through my head when I did it, I mean, I was probably 18, 19, I think, when I done this. And I think the thought behind it was, well, if they're in the book, they're safe. They're not going to get messed up. I thought I was using archival double-sided sticky tape. It wasn't archival, as you can see. And yeah, I really don't recommend ever doing this. If you're one of these people that just makes a pile of them, just keep them in a pile. Get a box, put them in a box. Don't go near them. Don't ever think to yourself that it's a good idea to stick them somewhere, because you don't know the quality of the product you're using to do your sticking. Oh dear. Anyway, this took me an hour and a half, and I had to super speed it up by 6 times, because let's be real, you didn't want to watch an hour and a half of this and listen to me waffle about how much I hated the fact that I've done this. Oh dear. Other notes. I've been looking at getting they used to be called a light box, but I think they're not really a box anymore. They're more like they're about as thick as the Tim Holtz glass mat, I think. But I've been looking at getting a light mat, if that makes sense. On Amazon, I've found ones, I think it's about A3 sized, and I think that might, I mean, some of the images I might get away with just tracing out and then doing something with, but honestly, I'm just so gutted I've done this. I mean, I'm glad I've still got them and I didn't, accidentally put them in a box and throw that box away, because that's the sort of thing I do. But I'm also extremely gutted that I've done this, as you can tell, because that's all I keep saying. Oh, FYI, I did this one for a friend. He wanted me to design him a tattoo, so that ended up being one of my friend's tattoos, which was pretty cool. I drew it, I coloured it in, and then I traced over the top of it on tracing paper, and then I gave the tracing paper image and a photo of the original artwork to him. He took it to his artist, and then they replicated it on his back, which I thought was pretty cool. Some of these images you probably would look at and think, you can tell a child done it. And that's because I was a child. To be fair, my drawing skills really ain't much better nowadays. Especially as I don't draw, at all anymore. And I really do miss it. I just never have the patience to do it anymore. To sit down, to sit still long enough to complete a piece of artwork just seems too still. Even when my health conditions are at their peak and I can hardly do anything, I still have to be doing something. That's just how I've been programmed since I was younger. It's one of them ones where, when you watch your parents as you're growing up and you kind of intake what they do. So for me growing up, my mum was one of these ones that never gave up, always carried on, got to get through it, no matter what. Having a depression day, still got up and get dressed and go to work, and she had multiple jobs at the same time, and do you know what I mean? And I sit here, and she had health conditions as well, do you know what I mean? She carried on, and then I sit here and I'm like, I can't sit still. Even sitting here doing a video, or not video, a voiceover, I am sitting here wiggling my hands, faffing my arms about, and staring out the window. But I can't sit still. I'm the most like even when I was recording this, it has just killed me to do this, but I just stood there for an hour and a half and done this. I didn't sit down, I stood. And it was because I wanted to be able to see what I was doing to make sure I didn't rip the paper. And it has absolutely killed my back, my hips, my feet. But I'm still going to get up in a minute, carry on doing the housework, and I'm still going to end up cooking tea, sorting the dog out, and I've even been debating on whether to go to walk across the village. But let's be real, the walk across the village I've been wanting to do for the last 2 weeks, maybe even 3 now. I haven't done it. Before you all think, it's only a village, it's only little. No, it's not. At one point, this village was named the second biggest village in Europe, I want to say. It's not a small village. It can take up to an hour to walk across it, and let alone an hour to walk it back. And then kick in health conditions where you can only walk to the end of your driveway and back. And yeah, it takes nearly it could take up to 4 hours, 3 hours just to do a lap across the village and back. I mean, I've only got to go to the half-hour mark and nip to the doctor's, but still, even the thought of just leaving the house, it's -2 at the minute. I mean, some of England is getting it worse than that. But -2 when you live right next to the coast and you get that sea wind hitting you, feels like -10. Anyway, I suppose I better start actually talking about what we're doing, or finishing, because, for some weird reason I started at the back of the book and then decided to go to the front of the book rather than working from the front to the back. But anywho, so I'm currently working on the last few images. Oh no, now I'm working on the last image. Yay! So at least I've managed to finish that. Oh, that took way longer than it should have done. But I'm glad it's now over with. So while you sit here and quickly watch me clean, I'm just going to explain what I am about to show you. So I'm going to show you all of the images that we've taken out of the book, all of my artwork. Everything to the left hand side, like I said, is going to be from when I was a teenager, and then everything to the right hand side is what I did in my 20s. So I hope you enjoyed, and remember, don't ever double side sticky tape anything anywhere unless you 100% know and trust the archival quality. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful day, and thank you for joining me today, and I'll speak to you all again soon. Bye.